Most people believe the loudest person in the room is the most confident, the one who speaks first, the one who speaks the longest, the one who fills every silence before it even has a chance to exist. And because of that, the world has learned a simple rule: loud equals strong, quiet equals weak. But reality is often more complicated, because silence hides a strange paradox. Very often, the quietest person in the room is the one who understands the most. Think about the last time you were in a crowded room. People talking over each other, stories being told, laughter bouncing across the table. Some people dominate the conversation. They move quickly from topic to topic. They interrupt without noticing. They fill every small gap in the discussion. And in that environment, quiet people often disappear into the background, not because they have nothing to say, but because something different is happening inside their mind. While others are speaking, they are observing. They watch the dynamics of the room. Who interrupts people halfway through a sentence? Who waits patiently before speaking? Who laughs a little too loudly? And who stays silent? They notice the person who suddenly changes their tone when a certain topic appears. They notice the pause before someone answers a question. They notice the difference between someone's words and their actual emotions. These details are small. Most people never register them, but quiet observers do. And over time, something interesting happens. Their mind starts connecting patterns. Why does one person always try to dominate the conversation? Why does someone laugh when they're clearly uncomfortable? Why does the energy in the room change when a certain person starts speaking? These questions begin to appear automatically. Not because quiet people are overthinking, but because their attention naturally goes deeper. They're not just listening to words. They're reading the entire situation. But this level of awareness comes with a cost: mental energy, because observing people constantly is surprisingly exhausting. Imagine sitting in a busy social environment for hours, conversations overlapping, people reacting emotionally, subtle signals constantly appearing. For someone who notices all of it, the brain never fully relaxes. It keeps processing tone, body language, intentions behind sentences. And after a while, that mental processing becomes tiring. Not because they spoke too much, but because they noticed too much. Over time, this awareness can also create distance. Not because quiet people dislike others, but because once you begin to see patterns in social behavior, it becomes difficult to ignore them. You start noticing the small performances. People exaggerating stories. People laughing because everyone else is laughing. People competing quietly for attention. And slowly, you realize something. A large part of social interaction is not about communication. It's about visibility. Being heard, being noticed, being important in the moment. Quiet people often see this clearly. And because of that, they don't always feel the need to compete in the same way. They speak when they have something meaningful to add. They listen more than they talk. They observe more than they perform. To some people, this looks like weakness, but it often comes from something else entirely. Awareness, because silence, for them, is not empty. Silence is where clarity lives. It's where thoughts slow down, where people reveal who they are when they stop trying so hard to impress everyone around them. And in a world that constantly rewards noise, that kind of quiet observation is rare. Sometimes the strongest position in a noisy room is not speaking louder than everyone else. Sometimes the strongest position is simply understanding the room and choosing not to compete with the noise. If you've ever felt like the quiet observer in a loud world, you're not the only one. And if you enjoy exploring the psychology of human behavior and the hidden patterns of modern life, consider subscribing. There's a lot more to understand.